Hello, welcome to Investor. My name is Patrick Donahue, co-founder of Investor, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to our learning platform, teaching entrepreneurs to get superior access to capital. Before we get started, just to point out a couple things with our logo. The basis of Investor was a word that we came up with in 2010 as we thought about tools and educational materials on how to teach entrepreneurs to get better access to capital. We decided to name our product Investor as a play off of invest your reputation. No matter what the tools are available to our small business owners and entrepreneurs, at the end of the day, it is reputation that moves money in business. And it's very important to keep this in mind no matter what tools or platforms emerge now and in the future, because at the end of the day, people invest in people. And it's the reputation of those people that's critical to moving money. So if you're asking these types of questions, the Investor platform is for you. If you have any questions about where and how to utilize tools to get superior access to capital, if you have questions about operational issues and how you can make your company more efficient and leverage those tools and people like advisory boards to get better access to capital, our program is for you. Anywhere in your business, if you're dealing with questions about how to get investment capital into your business or even pursue mergers and acquisitions, and to be much more efficient in that process in today's digital economy, the Investor platform will be ideal to help you succeed. So one of the first products that we've brought to market is a course on fundraising in the digital economy. And the platform that we've used to publish our material is Udemy.com. And you can go to udemy.com. It is a powerful resource for our entrepreneurs and business owners to get the resources that they need to be successful in today's economy. And we're very proud to have launched our master course on Udemy in early 2013. And this course will be continually updated with all of our latest and greatest materials. And over the course of 2013, we are going to be publishing a number of modules that are very specific on things like assembling an advisory board, putting together a deal team. And all of those courses will essentially be captured in this master course that people can get in one setting if they want everything at their fingertips. So let's take a look at what this course is all about and what people can get out of this course. So in the first section is showing people how to build their team and to plan ahead. And so we have 6 lectures here that provide people an overview of how to get better access to capital, and by starting with building the team and planning ahead. So the first lecture is a welcome to give people an overview of what everything is all about. And then we talk about the deal team and the advisory board, how much money to raise in valuation. These are a couple topics that there's going to be a lot more information that are going to be added to these topic streams over time. And then also finally on putting together a deal roadmap so people can get a full understanding of how to put together a process to see a Gantt chart and to make sure that they are on track to executing a financial raise or completing a merger and acquisition. So let's get into a little more detail here and to take a look at what is in this course. First off is the overview of how a deal team equals success. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in my business career, and when I've helped tens, if not hundreds of companies raise money or explore raising money, the one thing that I've seen where people have a critical failure point is when entrepreneurs, executives, business owners operate in a silo. When they operate in a silo, that is a recipe for disaster. I've seen some of the most successful people in business that have built companies and have had successful exits in the past, that have gone on to their second and third deal with a lot of confidence and have decided to run in a silo with disastrous results. Many times it's as simple as the inability to return phone calls in a timely manner, to not have all the answers when you're in meetings. And so it is critically important for our entrepreneurs to really surround themselves and to put together a team when they're out there looking at financial transactions. And this represents somebody that has the innovation, the vision. This represents somebody that has more of the technical skills. Maybe it's science, maybe it's legal. And this person represents the person that has a lot of familiarity with pro formas, budgets, and maybe in a chief financial operations role. The next piece is the guide to a great advisory board. Advisory boards have been one of the most powerful resources that many of the companies that we have worked with have put together. It's a tremendous opportunity to get the skills and the talents to help your team out that you may not otherwise have access to. And so these illustrations demonstrate also core skills that you can bring onto your advisory board that may fortify the skills of the existing team or may even fill a gap. If you're an early stage company, you don't have that chief financial officer, this may be an opportunity to bring somebody on board that has deep finance expertise. So let's look at the next section of our master course on fundraising in the digital economy. The next section is dedicated to tools, and this is where the bulk of our material really resides. We dive into things like Twitter and Gust and the digital platforms that are available for entrepreneurs today, and to teach people about how others have used these successfully to find investors and to achieve their goals faster than they otherwise would have been able to do. So let's take a look at a couple of these. First is fundraising with LinkedIn. We're getting to a point now in the year 2013 where most people in business are on LinkedIn and have quite a bit of familiarity with it. However, what we have found is that the high majority of these people still don't appreciate how powerful a tool LinkedIn is. For example, we've had a client that actually owned a social media agency, and they worked on things like Twitter and LinkedIn and other platforms for their clients. But when they went through a program, they were surprised about some of the angles and the ways to utilize the features on LinkedIn to make the fundraising experience easy and quicker. And so this is a powerful tool to help people understand the tools that are already out there that are largely free or very cost effective, and how you can be savvy in the use of these tools to achieve your corporate objectives. The next is fundraising with Twitter. Most people think that Twitter, even with tens of millions of active users today, most people still think Twitter's a bit silly. I was in that camp a couple of years ago. But as I've taken the opportunity to learn more about the platform and actively start using the tool, I have found that it is a very elegant way to identify the people that you need to know that are investors and influencers in your industry, and also to leverage it to open up lines of communications. And so our module and lesson on Twitter can be very powerful for people who aren't active users of Twitter, and even for those power users, to help them think about where and how they can use their time on Twitter to achieving their corporate objectives. Next is the platform Gust. Gust was born out of AngelSoft and has been in front of a software that's been in front of thousands of angel investors throughout the United States. And Gust has repositioned itself in 2011, 2012 as an investor relations portal. And so while its primary target has been early stage, even startup companies that has allowed them to post information about their company and get it out to angel investors, we have seen and encouraged companies outside of startups to utilize this platform, and even nonprofits. And so this is a fabulous tool that can be utilized to get in front of the people that you need to know. And like all tools, knowing how to use it correctly is a key piece of success. And then AngelList. AngelList was actually named after Craigslist. The whole concept is to put a Match.com service online for investors and entrepreneurs. AngelList appears to be very straightforward when you log into the system, but once again, just like Gust, there's tricks and tips to know where and how to best utilize the platform so you can maximize the return on time that you invest in the platform. And then finally is video. Video is something that we did as an afterthought 18 months ago because it's an important part when we were showing people about crowdfunding and also about AngelList and Gust and these other tools. Video has become one of our most important modules. It's absolutely critical today for any company to have a nice 30-second to 2-minute video that tells a story and is memorable, humorous, any way that you can get people to remember your name and your brand and to get them engaged with who you are as a person and your entity is absolutely critical. And it's a very difficult and can be a very expensive process. Yet in this module, we point out and help entrepreneurs understand where and how they can get the task done as quickly as possible and on a limited budget. And so this has become a very powerful module for our students. And then the final section for our Udemy course is on learning how to approach investors. The punchline that we offer in many of our videos, and you'd hear us saying this over and over again, is that people invest in people, and it's very important to lead with reputation. And so within that framework, we help people understand how to think about things like crowdfunding, peer-to-peer lending, utilizing psychology to really go out and identify and target and network with the right investors. And so that's the key for those next 4 lectures. And then the last 2 pieces, lecture 18 is investor presentation. This is a master presentation that I've given to several hundred business owners, and we had that professionally filmed, and so we captured that in the entire lecture, which is about 90 minutes of video is captured right here, and then the course concludes. And so this section will really tie together the first 2 sections and give you practical, straight talk advice about where and how you can get in front of the right investors. So let's take a look. First off, on crowdfunding, there's a lot of myths and misunderstandings about crowdfunding, and we like to distill it down to the core point, and that's people need to think about crowdfunding as a way to get paid to advertise. And when in this course, we do talk a little bit about equity crowdfunding, but here we're really talking about rewards-based crowdfunding, and that is more in the lines of Kickstarter, Indiegogo, the platforms that offer a perk or reward for any pledges or contributions made. And anybody approaches these with the idea that they're going to be able to fund all their operations are usually sadly mistaken. The framework in which you need to approach crowdfunding is really to go out there and to advertise about who you are and what you're doing, and any money that you gather along the way is gravy, but it's really the users and the engagement on your campaign is going to be the real value for the project sponsor. And then finally, as you've heard with our company name is a play off of invest your reputation. Our punchline is that reputation really moves money in business, and that's what allows our entrepreneurs to get away from the classical traps of having to deal with middlemen and finders and people that want to make introductions. Savvy entrepreneurs today can use digital media to identify the people that they need to know, can build reputation online, and to get in front of the people that they need to know, because time is the most valuable asset of our entrepreneurs, and our purpose of our course is to save entrepreneurs time so they can be most effective as possible. And then is the checklist for successful fundraising, which brings everything to a conclusion in our master course. So a couple more slides here. We like to share with people about why we've created these materials and why Investor is in business. Quite simply, our team works on our products every day because we know that lives are improved when entrepreneurs have superior access to capital. When people can get money into their business to maybe create a medical device, to bring that to market, not only does that improve lives of that entrepreneur, but it can benefit the lives of the consumers of those products and services. And our program is built to give entrepreneurs straight talk. We want our entrepreneurs to think on their own, pick up the nuggets that are most valuable to them, and to save as much time as possible so they can get to market quickly, and that we can bring down the average time of 10 months that it takes our entrepreneurs to raise money today, to bring that to well under 4 months. And ultimately, the purpose of Investor is to level the playing field in corporate finance, so our entrepreneurs have equal opportunity to bring capital into their business, just like the big boys. You've heard me touch on this a couple times, but just to reiterate, our core belief is that reputation makes money move in business. And today, your credit score will evolve to your social reputation score. It's going to be important for any stakeholders in your business life to know who you are and to be able to understand what you've done. And that is going to largely be reported online through things like LinkedIn. And so if somebody doesn't have a robust presence on LinkedIn, or their profile looks shoddy, that is going to be major points deducted against somebody's ability to bring money into their business or to even to sell their products and services. And we like to point out that it's very expensive to borrow someone else's reputation. This is how Wall Street has made trillions of dollars. They look to the business owners and they said, no, trust us. We're the big investment bank. Let us go out and raise money on your behalf. And for that, they've charged 5 to 13% of the money that's been brought into a company for the ability to have that company essentially leverage the reputation of these Wall Street banks. And those days are numbered. We can't allow people to outsource their reputation anymore because it has become too difficult. And if you're not anything, if you're anything smaller than a $100 million company, it's just become virtually impossible to even outsource the opportunity to bring money into your business. And so finally, a couple more points here. What we like to say, and it's been said by many, many people, is that if you're not building your reputation online, somebody else is. And it's really critical for our entrepreneurs and our business owners to take charge of their reputation online so they can help guide prospects in their decision-making journey, whether it's an investment into their company or to buy their products and their services. And finally, we can never forget that no matter how nice they are, how much they smile, how many games and dinners they take people out to, middlemen, advisors just don't have the interest and the passion that our entrepreneurs do. And so we can't allow people to be over-reliant upon external advisors. Our entrepreneurs really have to own and control their ability to get money into their business to ultimately be successful. So thank you for taking a few minutes to learn about what our platform is all about. Visit our website, sign up for our newsletter so you can stay informed of when our books are published, when new courses are launched on Udemy.com, when we host a series of events. We do a number of things like pitch clinics and meetups. So we stay very engaged with the entrepreneurial community. And a quick and easy way to stay engaged with us is via Twitter at Investure. So once again, on behalf of the team at Investure, this is Patrick Donahue. Thank you for taking the time.